Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pencils and Lipstick. This is episode 260, and my mic is falling of the show. It is mid March, and I am recording this a few days early because I am about to go to the Future of Publishing Mastermind with Russell Noelty and Monica Leonel, and it should be really fun in New Orleans. I will let you guys know how that goes. I'll see if we can find out anything new from the publishing industry. I have some exciting interviews coming up. There's a couple products in the world that are made just for us authors, and I'm super excited to talk to the developers of these products and bring them to you. So definitely be listening in the next few weeks. I'm pretty excited about some of these. I think, we got to be cautious with AI, but people way smarter than me are figuring out really cool things to do with it that aren't, that don't involve writing your book. Like, let's just put that out there right there. AI is not there yet. If you missed last week, we talked about the 10 key scenes that most novels need. So if you are looking for a little refresher course or just need some push on scenes and information about that, be sure to go check out episode 259. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about email and email marketing because it was a request. I had two emails from two different people asking me questions, a little bit slightly different questions, but pretty much about why do I need an email list and email marketing and how do I use it effectively. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you guys would share this episode or any episode that you really enjoy, I would greatly appreciate it. We are a small podcast, you and I, you listener and I, but it always helps other people find what they need, and it's just fun to see things grow, and it's fun to get information from you guys. Please don't hesitate to email me or contact me on my website. That contact form goes straight to my email. And that's how I got these requests. So this is what we're going to do. Email marketing. Um, just disclaimer, I am not the top expert in email, but I have had an author list since 2016, and I have been studying author lists since 2016. I am an aggressive cleaner of my list. I don't see the point of having 100,000 people on your list if only 40 are opening it. So there's that right there. Let's talk about email lists and expectations. I think that you should shoot for an open rate on the first time your email goes out at about 40%. That should be your goal. Mine is usually at 44%. And I am always fiddling. I wonder if I could ever get it to 50%. Now, once mine always goes on automatic resend. If people don't open it, they automatically get the same email with a slightly different headline or subject line the next day, I think. And that is usually at a 12% open rate. So there are people on the list that are just not opening. So around every 6 months, I go in and I aggressively clean them off. I know that might sound a little mean, but if people aren't opening your email, and a lot of times it is going to spam, and there's just not anything that I can do about that or you can do about that. It's just not worth having them on your list. Why? Because you're going to pay for them. Okay. And if they're not going to see your email and all the news that you're going to send them, then why pay for them? Okay. So, email lists in general, what are they for? Email, the reason why everyone wants your email all the time is once you say, yes, I give you permission to send me propaganda or promotions, basically, let's say, you really like those Adidas shoes. And so they say, put in your email for 10% off, and you put in your email, and the terms and conditions are that you give your consent to receive an email from Adidas. That's the same thing that we're doing here. The reason that companies, small and large, want email addresses is because they own that list in a sense. It's not like they own your email inbox, but they do own the right to send you an email until you unsubscribe. Okay. You do not own your followers list. If you were to get locked out of Instagram tomorrow, you would not have those followers. And even if you did download the list, when you start up Instagram again, you cannot go and like force them to follow you again. That's not an option that I know of. Same goes with Facebook, with TikTok, whatever, right? So this is why we're always looking for emails. It goes straight to people's inboxes. It's more personal. They are more likely to see it. And again, we're looking at like a 50% seen rate kind of on email. But believe me, that is much higher than Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. TikTok's pretty good about showing your stuff to people, but a lot of times it's not the same people. A lot of times it's new people. And so on the email list, what we can do is curate it to your kind of people, which are readers of whatever genre you are writing in. Now, definitely use your social media to get people onto your email list. I am not really great at this. I go up and down on social media. There are times I'm like, oh yeah, I should remind them to join my email list. So um, you should do that better than me. Okay. So these are things that we're always looking for as authors. We're looking to up our Instagram, whatever followers, and we're looking to grow our email list. Now I have two email lists. One is for specifically writers and one is specifically for readers. And within my reader list, I have them tagged onto different genres. Okay, we might be getting ahead of ourselves here. If you are starting out with an email list, there are a lot of companies that you can work with. I really enjoy MailerLite. I think it's middle of the road pricing. I think they have everything that anyone needs. And believe me, I have tried almost everybody. Kit is actually, which used to be ConvertKit. It's just aesthetically more pleasing and it's a little more powerful. Although I think MailerLite is getting better. And it does actually have a free option now, but I am well beyond their free option. So almost everyone has a free option up until maybe 500, maybe 1,000 subscribers. So when you are starting out, feel free to tinker, right? I always tell people I suggest SendFox if you are really just starting out and aren't super savvy about tech or you get overwhelmed with tech. SendFox is easy. It's a one-time payment. I used it for a long time and I do not regret my, I think, $70. I used it for 3 years. That got all of every penny out of it. The automations are not as powerful as MailerLite, and so I soon grew out of it. But some people never do grow out of it. It's perfectly, fine for what they want to do. Definitely check them out. I personally don't love MailChimp for various reasons. I have spoken to a few people and they say that it has gotten better. I left in 2019. I left MailChimp in 2019 and yeah, I've heard people say that it's better. I do like their templates. I think those are cool. I tried Constant Contact and really disliked them. They seemed very corporate to me and they weren't doing the things that I wanted to do. I just honestly, I didn't like the aesthetic and I thought it was overpriced for what it was. Just my opinion. Okay. So I actually do not have an affiliate link. I wish I did for all these things, but I will put links in the show notes below. You guys really just have to choose. No, you cannot send your newsletter from your personal Gmail. That's not how it works. Okay. You cannot just BCC everybody in there. Now, why do you need an email server for it? You need it in order to comply with the email privacy laws. If you have somebody else, MailChimp or MailerLite or Constant Contact or Kit or whatever, they are kind of supporting you on the other end, making sure that you are complying with especially EU laws, Canadian laws, American privacy laws. People usually have to go through like two-factor, permission giving authentication. So you want to use them for, just to be compliant with all the laws. You also want to be able to have a place to store everyone. Maybe you want to know where they what country they live in, what they like. I tag people per genre. There's a lot of things that you can do on these email server lists. I don't know what they're called, guys. I'm sorry. Companies that you can't do from Gmail. Just take it from me. You cannot build your author newsletter from your personal Gmail. Okay. So you're going to have to invest a little bit of money into this. And again, some of them are free up until like 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. I don't know if any that is free beyond that. The free definitely comes with limitations. Many times you cannot make a landing page, or you can't make many landing pages. And why would you want a landing page? Well, a landing page is going to be that thing that you can send people to so that they can sign up. If you look below in the show notes, there is a link for you to sign up to my mailing list, right? So that is a landing page, and that is, I'm going to try to show this to you guys if you are watching. So you could make forms, and you can make landing pages. So the free will limit what you can do there. Now, the forms and the landing pages are like the pop-ups you'll be able to integrate into your website, which is very powerful, or you can embed a form on your website as well, right? So there's all these things that you can do. Let's see something here. If you are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. So here are different landing pages, right? I don't ever get rid of them. Some of these, I don't use anymore, but this is a landing page. This is for my 12 days of Christmas, opt out, so people can see it. I can do a lot of different things here. I don't want to get 12 days of Christmas emails. They put in their email there, they opt out, and then they go automatically into a group that says, that I tag as to not receive those emails. Okay. And I'm showing you guys MailerLite here because that's what I use. Within MailerLite, you're going to send campaigns, they're called. Everybody has their own little lingo: newsletter, campaign, I think blast. So, I don't know. Everybody has all these. They have to have different names, and I don't know why. So you can see my open right here. Seems to be it's about the same a lot of times. This is my writer's newsletter. Now here I have almost 50%, which is definitely something to repeat. That's a good one. People really like that one. That means that they opened it. Okay. So you're going to have your newsletters. Now, the most interesting thing about the email list, okay, let's say you probably understand it up to there, right? Like I can make a form, and I can send people this link to sign up for my newsletter, right? That's one thing. Then you can create an email or a campaign, a blast, all the same thing, just means an email to send out to all these people who want to be on my list. And if you are on anyone's list, you know what that looks like, whether it is, a promotion email, whether it's an informational email, all those things. Now, why you need an email list, the other reason is for you to be able to participate in BookFunnel, Story Origin, and Author XP, as well as all the other kind of smaller newsletter campaigns, promotions, and giveaways. Okay. So one way that we build our newsletters is to use BookFunnel and Story Origin and Author XP. So I will have those in the show notes below as well. This is BookFunnel if you are watching. Now, BookFunnel is a place where people set up promotions and giveaways, and sales. Okay, but the sales is kind of, let me see if I say it. Yeah, you could do a sale without a newsletter. So that's not really here nor there. We're talking about promotions and newsletter swaps. So this is how you're going to build a lot of your newsletter. Okay, so you see this here. This is a newsletter. Let's say Transformational Books Mega Giveaway. Okay, so here's where you're going to be able to give away an ebook. And what's going to happen is when people get on this giveaway and they click on your book, they're going to say, yes, I want to read that book that they are giving away for a week. And in order to get the book, they are signing up for your newsletter. Okay. There are also big promotions through written word media, Authors XP, and Book Sweeps and Lit Ring, in which it's like a giant giveaway, and you get the list of everyone who has signed up just to win all of those books. So there are giveaways in which they specifically choose your book and they download it right away, and then they go to your list. And then there are giveaways in which everyone signs up, kind of like this. There's only going to be a couple winners, but everyone signs up. And then you get a big list of 100 people, 150 people, 200 people, and you get to upload that to your list. Okay, so that is how we are growing our list. That is kind of the non-organic way, because those you have to pay for. And to participate in those promotions, you do not need to participate in the book funnel or Story Origin promotions. You just have to pay to be part of Story Origin or book funnel. Let me show you Story Origin app. StoryOriginApp.com is kind of the same thing. You come over and you go over to promotions, newsletter swaps. I can swap with somebody, and I will tell my newsletter about their book, and they will tell their newsletter about their book. Okay. And so you are using this as a way to grow your newsletter and to get seen in front of other people. So here, you can see that her subscribers are 5,000. My subscribers from at the time that I updated this, it's a bit more than this. So you have to constantly be updating your stats. And it's just to give people an idea. You might be really impressed by some people's lists, and some people's lists are impressive, not because of the number that they have on there, but because of the open rate. I personally look at the open rate. What does it matter if they have 10,000 people on their list if they have a 10% open rate? It's about the same as a smaller list, right? All right, so Story Origin app and Book Funnel are two places that almost every indie author is using. One of them, if not both of them. I am using both of them at all times for a couple different things, but you can choose one to start. Don't worry. You're not really missing out on other things, especially if you're starting out. You just need to choose one or the other. I do think Story Origin app has more, I would say personally, just from anecdotally looking around, more fantasy and sci-fi than Book Funnel, but I could be wrong. I think Book Funnel has a lot more nonfiction, but again, anecdotally, right? That is not scientific. Okay, so you need your email list. You need to grow it. This is a great way. Once you have, let's say, 500 people on your mailing list and your next book comes out, you get to blast them. You get to send them a campaign. You get to tell them all about your book, right? And when I had a Kickstarter, there's no way that the Kickstarter would have ever worked if I didn't have an email list. Everyone but 3 came from my email list, all of my supporters except for 3 for the Kickstarter. When you have a book launch, you want people on your email list. You want them to know about it. Not everybody's going to buy right away, but you want them to, they're following you for a reason, right? Now, kind of parallel to this, when you start your newsletter, you're trying to get people on your newsletter. At the same time, you have to come up with what to say to people on your newsletter. One of the first things that you should do when you are starting your email list is to set up an automation that is like a welcome automation. Okay. So the welcome automation needs to be set up in such a way so that when you integrate your email list, so your MailerLite, your MailChimp, whatever, with Book Funnel, we're just going to use those two, with Book Funnel or Book Story app, Story Origin app, you're going to integrate them, and they have lots of information, that's instructions. They're very kind people on both in both companies to help you learn to integrate them so that when people sign up for your book or for a promotion, they are going to go immediately into a group in your email list. And it's amazing. It's like magic. You don't really have to do anything, right? They just sort of show up there. Now, if you join like one of the big promotions of Book Sweeps or Authors XP, they actually send you a list afterwards, a big list. Okay. And then you can sort of upload that into the group that you want. And yes, this all comes with a slight learning curve, but please don't get overwhelmed. Every company has a lot of information on this. Okay. And this kind of gets into the weeds. I know Tammy LeBrack at Newsletter Ninja, her books or ebooks get a little more detailed on this. So I encourage you to look over there. You can also find a lot of webinars through whatever server you use, MailChimp, MailerLite, SendFox. Almost all of them have either webinars or video instruction. So yeah, you are going to probably have to spend a little time learning the ropes. But it won't take you that long. I promise you. And if you do have like lots and lots of trouble with it, you can always book a call with me. I don't want to say that to like 5,000 people out there because I can't do that. But maybe if if enough people email me and say, I want like specific step by step, I could probably make you guys a little video. Only if you guys request it. So where were we? So you're going to make this, you're going to get your account at, let's say, MailerLite, SendFox, whatever. You're going to make your little sign up page and tell people all about it. And then what you're going to do is the next thing I would do is make an automation that is a welcome automation. So let me see. Well, I have a lot of automations. If you've signed up for any of my stuff, you will have seen my automations. So if you are on if you are on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. Let's see if they can preview it. So the very first thing that I ran a little promotion where they could get this free PDF. A lot of times you're going to entice people to get on there with, a little PDF or a little thing that you can do. And I'm going to go into that in just a second, right? So they signed up for it through my little landing page. And then this is their first email. Thank you for signing up for my writing newsletter. Get this workbook. And then this is a Tammy LeBrack tip. Right here with a big red button, you say, is this all you wanted, or having second thoughts, or don't want to stick around after this? Click here to end the emails and get them off your list almost immediately. I'm not going to go into this a lot. This is Tammy LeBrack's thing, and I think it's brilliant. Again, if you get her Newsletter Ninja ebooks, she goes through it, and she might still have if you go to newsletterninja.com, she might, and I'll put that in the show notes, still have like courses. It's just like the most brilliant thing ever. If you can get people to self unsubscribe, it's great, because then you run less risk of 3 months later them tagging you as spam. We don't want anyone tagging us as spam ever. It really hurts us on our MailerLite, right? Like if that happens too many times, MailerLite might actually shut you down. Now it has to happen quite a bit. So it's never happened to me ever. And I get, one or two every single newsletter because people forget that they're on my list. So don't have a heart attack if somebody claims that you're spam, but you definitely don't want like 20 people at one time. Okay. So an automation that goes automatically to them. So they sign up for this little PDF through BookFunnel, and now they get that welcome right away. Now their next one about a week later is an intro email. So if you're on YouTube, you can see this, and this is the intro email, and maybe you guys have had it, received it. I put that little red button right here. Don't want to receive more emails from me, just click the red button. And then I put out a list of who I am and what I've done, just fun facts about me. All right, just all these fun little things. I think you can write a story about yourself. You can tell, why you are a writer, all those things. It's really up to you. And then I have, they say I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. And I give them another email a week later, and I give them some things about dialogue. Oh, that's interesting. And then how to manage your writing time and some free tips on your writing, and then 52 prompts for free. And then they end the automation. Okay. This is different for everyone. That is my writer's list, and every single automation that I make slightly different. Now, for my readers, they get either the book or just a welcome, kind of depending on where they went. If I'm giving away like my free novella, which you know, a lot of times I use the novella as an enticement. A lot of times I use another book as an enticement. I'll make sure that they get the book. And then a week later, I will introduce myself again to them. Another week later, I will tell them about another book that I've written. On one automation, I have my 10 favorite historical romance novels. On another one where I tag people in just contemporary fiction, my 10 favorite, contemporary fiction novels. You can do like your 10 favorite movies. You can talk about how you got the idea for the book. So, give them the book. A week later, introduce yourself. A few days later or a week later, say, now you've had 2 weeks with the book. I hope, and this is a great way to remind them that they have the book, because a lot of times people's Kindle TBR is really long, right? So, you've downloaded my book. Have you had a chance to read it? Even if you haven't, let me tell you a little bit more about it. And you tell them about how you got the idea for the book, where it came from. You tell them about the characters. Maybe you can give them like 15 fun things you didn't know about the main character. That's a great idea. I need to write that down so I can do that myself. So I have a couple ideas for emails. You can use these ideas either in your automation or in, just as email campaigns. You might be asking me why you can't just do this at these as campaigns. Like, why do you have to set up an automation? You don't have to set up an automation, especially if you are just starting out, because you could probably send out email campaigns kind of one by one, but I wouldn't recommend it. If you set up your email and you go into BookFunnel and you join a promotion, and let's say you get 30 people downloading your book, you'd have to go in and make sure every day that they sign up that they are getting your email, right? And so even if you were to send like an email blast at the beginning of the promotion, what about at the end? See, it's going to start getting messy. And so the automation, you don't have to have a super long automation. You can have just make sure you got the book, right? Here's the book. Make sure you got this. And maybe just an introduction to yourself. And then you wait 2 weeks until the promotion's done, and then you send a campaign. You can do whatever you want. And you will probably change the way that you do things the more that you work in email marketing. Okay. But again, I would highly recommend the Newsletter Ninja by Tammy Labrecque. It goes into really detailed reasons onto why you would want automations versus campaigns. I've done both. In the very beginning, I just did campaigns. But sorry, the cherry blossoms are out and my throat hurts. Eventually you will want automations. And the more you do this, the less confusing it is. So I would suggest that you start out slowly by getting your email server, like choosing which one it is, setting up a way for people to sign up, and then choosing either BookFunnel or Story Origin app just to begin with, and then join a promotion and just slowly figure out all the little things that you have to do. Okay. So just a little list to finish up with this on email ideas, because a lot of times people say, okay, I get the idea of like, I get why I need an email list. I get that I can grow it through BookFunnel and Story Origin app and Book Sweeps and written word media and all these things. both paid and unpaid, right? And then I can tell people about my book and it's great. But what do I write to them? Like, what email do I send more than like my book is coming out, right? And let me say, marketing is one of those things, as you guys know, I admit all the time, it's not like I'm not super talented at it. But I can understand why you would not want to only reach out to people when your book is coming out, because you risk them saying like, I don't remember you, I don't know who you are, and why do I care, right? All of us get so many emails every day, that you kind of have to stay on the top of people's radar. And spam filters now are so good that if you don't email people pretty consistently, then the time that you do email them, your chances of getting into their spam box go through the roof. Okay. So, how many times should you email them? I would say at minimum once a month. And I would encourage people to do it twice a month. Okay. So, what I do is more or less, and I don't always stick to my own rules, but my rule is supposed to be one time a month I do promos and newsletter swaps where I, promote another person's book and then they're promoting my book on their list. And then 2 weeks later, I give a life update or a book update. I don't always follow my own rules. You don't have to have any rules. You can do whatever you want. I would put in this caveat: don't make your emails really long. I am not going to say certain names, but I love them as people and as authors, but their emails are so long that they're overwhelming and I never read them. So maybe you love long emails. I don't know many people that do. So I try to keep mine at less than 600 words. Okay. And one thing that some people are doing is right at the beginning, before they even say hello, is they're telling them, make sure to scroll all the way down if you're just looking for book promotions, so that people know why they should scroll down. So I think that's a great trick that I'm trying to remember. Okay. Email ideas for authors. So introduce yourself. 15 things, 10 things that people didn't know about you is one. So share about where you got the idea for your book. Let's just pretend you have one book. Where did you get that idea from? Tell people about that. Show people your working space. Ta-da! If you're on YouTube, you can see my working space. If you are a music listener while you're writing, I don't understand you. And you should share that playlist with your readers. They might be really interested in it. These days, you can use AI, if you're okay with it, with coming up with maybe what your character looks like. You can use an email to share an Instagram post that people really liked, or a reel that people really liked. You can share a funny or interesting story about you or your writing life or your journey to writing the book, or about maybe that scene that went way off the rails and got you, that made the book a little bit late coming out. Maybe a funny story, maybe something that wasn't funny in the moment, but now is funny. You can tell them about the next book that's coming out or what you are trying to write. You can show them behind the scenes of the cover. So the cover usually goes through several iterations. Definitely ask permission from your cover artist if you can show the different iterations, or maybe you can sort of make a mock-up of what you would have done. You're like, this is why I don't DIY my covers. And you show, how unprofessional yours looks. And then you show the professional one. I like to reveal the covers to my newsletter first before I show it to my Instagram. So that's a fun thing to do as well, where you can reveal the cover. You can give them a different ending. Maybe you've thought of a different ending or a different beginning. You can share with them deleted scenes. I've never done that because I feel like I delete the scenes because they need to be deleted. That's just kind of how I write. But I do know people who straight up write scenes that for them to be the deleted scenes that they can then share. If you're a short story writer like me, you can share just random short stories that people can read. I actually get quite a bit of input whenever I share a short story. People really like it. You can write up a character interview, maybe pretend that they are being interviewed by a journalist. For my first one, there was a time in which I wrote letters between Christoph and Rowena, um, that took place after the book was done. Like he had gone on business somewhere and they were writing letters to each other, and that was fun to write. You can make up a playlist that is specific for the book. I did that for Bended Loyalty. You can share the first chapter. You can share the first chapter of your next book, which is kind of scary sometimes because sometimes it changes. You can make up your dream cast of who would act in your movie of your book. A lot of times, and this is all book related, right? But when it comes to you, you can share about a story about your life, story maybe about how, if you write romance, especially about how you and your partner met and fell in love. I tend to not bring in a lot of my family into my emails, but that's just my my choice. I do share a lot about my travels. I share a lot of pictures that I might not share on social media with them. I share about the conferences that I go to. I share about my friends' books. I love, excuse me, I love promoting my friends' books and what they are doing. I love sharing what I'm reading with my newsletter. And, this takes a little bit of time because I go and gather links from bookshop.org or Amazon. And, so people can go find it. No, I don't make any money from that, but, it's kind of fun, kind of nice if people like it. So, you can, if you're really into like your genre's gossip, you can share about that for sure. You can have a lot of fun with your email list. What I would like to encourage you is like, don't make it an overbearing chore. It can be really fun. Be yourself when you are writing to people. We have Lynn Bohart coming up next week, and we actually talk about her new newsletter because she's a mystery writer and she like interviews investigators and policemen and like all these people related like that she needs for her research, and so it's pretty interesting. So you can do that. But if you are like a romance writer and there's gossip in the romance world, you can certainly use that. Maybe people would love it. Whatever it is, be you. Choose to do something that you're going to be able to continue and for a long time continue to do. So that I would really encourage you to be yourself, not try to be someone else. You could write it from the point of view of your cat. That is something a couple authors do. A point of view of the dogs from the books. That's somebody, I can't remember her name, but I do know there's an author that does that. You can write it from the point of view of one of the characters, especially if you're writing kind of a deep series that's, going to go on for a long time. I write just so many genres that doesn't make much sense from mine. Yeah, there's so many ideas that you can do. I encourage you to just take some time and maybe think of it. I also save authors' emails and be like, oh, that's a really great idea. I'm going to steal that because it's just, you will definitely make yourself your own. You're not going to just copy paste Sky Warren's email because that would be weird. So I hope that was at least a little informative and not too confusing about emails and email lists and newsletters and why you want one as an author. Again, if you're listening to this on audio and you want to see what I was doing in the background, it was just a little bit, but you can go to YouTube and we're at Pencils and Lipstick, the channel. It's called Pencils and Lipstick, obviously. If you guys really want me to do a step-by-step, which I, again, encourage you to get the newsletter Ninja, email me, go to katcaldwell.com, contact me. Maybe I can make a little video for y'all I'm also going to put a link in the show notes where you guys can go and check out my in-depth email course. And then if you get that, um, you'll also get like a whole download of lead magnet ideas and email ideas as well. So you guys can click on that. Um, and you can check it out and see if it's something that you want more of. And in that course, I do show more about BookFunnel, Story Origin app, and Authors XP, which are the three main places that I use to grow my list. So that's why I use them. I will have the links in the show notes below of all the different companies that I have talked to you guys about. So check them out. And again, just take your time, go slowly. It can be frustrating because it's technology. And I am certainly not a tech person, but there is lots of help out there. Always check YouTube if you can't find like a video on your actual email servers. FAQ, go to YouTube, and most likely you will find several videos that will show you. It's amazing. It's an amazing time we live in, guys. It's absolutely amazing. So again, if there's another topic that you guys want me to talk to you about, there is no topic too basic or too small or too beginning that we can't talk about here. I am here to help you and all indie authors make sure they get their books out and continue the process after the book's out, which is marketing and sales. And that's, so we're going to have a couple more interviews coming up, some I'm really excited about. So you guys be sure to tune in next week. Until then, have a great week.